Recently, the Baki manga has provided some greatness that to some has saved the series, considering the heavily criticized sumo tournament arc and reveals about Jack Hanma leaving people stunned. After all that, we had the return of the fan favorite character Jack Hanma, someone who had taken quite a few L's in previous arcs, but this time he goes redemption in defeating Nomi no Sukune, the newly introduced powerhouse of the series. Today I'm presenting an updated How Strong is Jack Hanma video with regard to his evolution and demonstrations in the previous 15 or so chapters that have now been translated by the best team, so I'll be clarifying everything in today's video that has been unclear throughout the releases with a full breakdown of the fight. You can kind of consider this a sequel to this video if you want, but if you're new here and enjoy Baki content, make sure to hit that subscribe button, that's what I provide here, and make sure to stay to the end as I'll do some what if battles with various other top tiers. A major thing to note is Jack hasn't just changed physically, but mentally just as much, considering his previous losses as things of the past that did in fact happen but don't bother him anymore. They kinda only mention his defeat from his brother Baki and his defeat by the hand of Motivate. They don't mention the 3 defeats from Pickle. Maybe that doesn't really count, but regardless, I think Jack has changed quite a bit. He's now fully focused, with his training actually changing his face as the strength of his bites greatly increased. So yeah, of course Jack's doing insane training. But yeah, just look at my dude's neck now. Greatly improved muscle, with his new teeth made out of titanium this time. Already a lethal combo, but it doesn't stop there. He has created his own martial art when travelling the world, Gaodo, the way of biting. The mad lad created a martial art that focuses on biting. Truly something we'd only get to see in Baki. However, take note, Jack states it's still a long way from perfection, so much more improvement is to come in the future when using mankind's ultimate weapon from his perspective. We get a sense of his improved skill right away, with him being able to see all the vital points in humans and animals for him to bite and potentially one-shot, making him an expert at killing as well. With us seeing a similar thing from Jack in his final clash with Sukune, where he was able to bite his neck and pretty much bleed him out and win the fight. So yeah, Jack could pretty much, I guess, use this ability whenever he wants. And there's also various instances where Sukune was calling Jack a nice guy, kinda implying that Jack could have gone for, you know, the one-shot vital point if he really wanted to. But again, he wanted to prove something throughout this fight, linking to the whole wanting a crowd, everything like that, but I'll explain more of that further. His biting power currently surpasses lions, as Jack can eat bone marrow, while lions cannot due to the strength of their jaws. Perhaps Jack rivals hyenas, at least when it comes to biting force, but he considers lions nothing but amateurs, so maybe he's even better. The little training we do see from him before the fight is solely focused on increasing his jaw strength, with clarification that he still takes the goods to increase his strength even further, so Jack is all about gaining that power still. For me, one of his most impressive improvements is Jack's reaction speed. In the quick instant of being hit directly in the head by Sukune, he was able to take one of his fingers with a bite, calling it the instinct of Gaodo, with Sukune pointing out that behind the biting there's a gigantic technical arsenal, so perhaps Jack has an answer for many things with his new martial art. It's safe to say anyone fighting Jack faces great danger even when attacking him. Jack can bite so fast now that they don't even see his mouth open, and when their fight officially begun, they charge one another, with Sukune instantly losing his first trap, which of course is foreshadowing to Jack's tactics throughout this fight, making him even more dangerous than he has ever been in the series. He was always someone who was insane and had that will to, you know, keep on going, one of the hardest characters to fully put down. But now pairing all of that with OP biting, speed, and now tactics, one of the most deadly combos in the whole series. Another thing that's kinda strange is Jack can tank so many blows from Sukune with ease. Like, we see this kick hitting Jack directly in the face, or in the mouth more so. Jack's able to bite Sukune in that quick instant, and also tank the impact of the blow directly. So again, Jack is still an absolute tanky boy, which is even more impressive as throughout this fight and the whole arc, we've had characters showing respect to Sukune and more so ancient sumo and its power. On top of that, Sukune demonstrated the most techniques throughout this fight, showed anger for one of the few times, and the fact that he's been training throughout this arc and getting stronger, it's pretty safe to say that this is the strongest version of Sukune, unless you consider the losing of finger nerf, but I consider that part of this fight regardless. And again, Jack isn't stupid whatsoever. Once taking his initial finger, Jack came to the realization that Sukune had insane grip strength. As such, he had a game plan for this fight to take out both of Sukune's traps, so he isn't able to use his grip strength to break his opponent's back as he's done in previous fights. Pretty much getting rid of Sukune's most dangerous move pretty early on. Moving away from his biting, we also get to see some of his current striking ability, which is still solid and not rusty at all according to Baki and Katsumi. Being able to drop Sukune with a combo. Remember, Yujiro, even with a direct strike, couldn't make him fall. But of course that's one blow compared to many, and we do see Jack failing with a single kick. So it does take a combo to drop sumo, but it does show everyone in the crowd pretty much respecting ancient sumo in this situation as well, which of course is good for Jack regardless. Jack's overwhelming power makes Sukune question his past training, and that he should have had an opponent biting him with 2,500 kilograms of force to prepare for the insanity which is Jack, which of course, that alone is pretty crazy. But again, it's expanded even further. Jack can now seamlessly blend his biting and striking together, making it a full-fledged martial art. Maybe this means he's also somewhat worked on his striking, or maybe his striking was already a high enough level, he more so focused on getting his biting to a similar level so he can combine them together, as we see in the final stages of the fight with him pretty much cutting up and beating on Sukune while tanking all of his blows. And no, Jack didn't get weaker or slower throughout this fight, that was a mistranslation, and still had more than enough stamina at the end, as we see with him flipping into the air like an absolute mad lad. He defeated Sukune after biting his neck and making him fall unconscious due to blood loss, something I personally didn't think we would ever get to see throughout Baki, a character losing via blood loss. You would like to think they have infinite blood at this point, but yeah, Jack was able to pull it off. And he may have gotten a praise from Baki here with some visible sweat on Baki's face, which again speaks volumes to how dangerous Jack currently is. So yeah, let's go over some what if battles to see where I personally believe Jack sits after this current fight. He destroys Oliver. There's a few comparisons of Sukune vs Oliver and Jack vs Oliver to make, but as a whole, Jack's fighting style kind of destroys him. Kaku gets absolutely rolled. He pretty much said in the Pickle arc that he would rather pretty much stop his own heart than fight Pickle, perhaps conceding that he's inferior to the likes of Katsumi during that arc. Jack is far beyond that. He's above Hanma mainly due to Hanma's fighting style like most of the time, and I do actually rank him above Pickle. Again, we haven't seen Pickle since the Musashi arc. Maybe he could be a lot stronger, but we don't really know. In Jack's vs Pickle's initial fight, with this being a much weaker Jack, yes, Pickle outclassed him in every way, but Jack was strong enough to actually put fear into Pickle. Current Jack is stronger and now has tactics which, for what we know, should be pretty effective against the likes of Pickle. Of course, I would love to see a rematch between both of them to see, the current outcome, but I'll personally rank Jack above Pickle. Then we have the likes of Baki, Yujiro, and Musashi. I think those three still outclass Jack, but for all we know, Jack could be closer to them than what we really know. And against Weaponed Up Motobe, I'm not really sure what to say about that one. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. But yeah, this is my updated How Strong is Jack Hanma video after the recent hype. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure to check out all the other stuff in the description. Shout out to these absolute mad lads who support the channel via the Patreon. And yep, that's it guys. Peace.